My landlord tripled my rent, so I bought the building and gave him a 3-day notice to quit. He was a hustle culture guru who spent more time posting about passive income on LinkedIn than actually fixing the leaking pipes in my unit. He called me into his office, a converted garage smelling of cheap cologne, and told me that market conditions required a 300% increase. He didn't even look up from his phone. He just told me that if I couldn't afford it, I was low-value clutter holding back his portfolio's potential. I didn't argue. I didn't tell him I'd been quietly building a short-term lending firm while he was busy buying followers. I just smiled, signed the acknowledgement, and went to work. See, passive income kings usually have one massive weakness. They're over-leveraged. I did a deep dive into the building's history and found exactly what I expected. He'd used a predatory bridge loan to acquire the property, and he was 3 weeks away from a balloon payment he couldn't cover. He wasn't raising my rent because of the market. He was raising it because he was drowning. I didn't wait for the bank to move. I contacted the private equity firm holding his debt and offered to buy the note at a premium. By Friday, I wasn't just a tenant, I was his boss. I walked back into that garage office on Monday morning. He started to give me a speech about leaving on good terms, but I just laid the deed and the notice to quit on his desk. His face went from smug to ghostly as he realized the low-value tenant now owned the roof over his head. I didn't give him 30 days. I gave him 72 hours. He didn't take the 72 hours quietly. He lawyered up with the biggest, nastiest firm in the city, a group known for burying little guys in paperwork until they suffocated. 2 days later, a courier served me with a lawsuit demanding an emergency injunction and damages for emotional distress. I didn't panic. I had been tracking that firm too. They were infamous for taking cases on contingency and were currently hemorrhaging cash due to a failed class action suit. They were desperate for billable hours, even from a broke landlord. The morning of the hearing, I walked into the courtroom just as his lead counsel, a man in a suit costing more than my car, started bellowing to the judge about injustice. I calmly walked over to the plaintiff's table and handed the lawyer a single document. It wasn't a legal brief. It was a notice of assignment of debt. I had bought his firm's outstanding operational line of credit from their distressed bank that morning. "Counselor," I whispered, loud enough for the judge to hear, "before you continue suing me on behalf of my former landlord, you should probably check with your accounting department. I believe you're currently working for me now, too." The lawyer turned a shade of purple I've never seen before. The judge looked at the paper, looked at me, and then dismissed the case with prejudice, citing a catastrophic conflict of interest. Today, I turned that garage into a storage unit and converted the rest of the building into affordable spaces for people who actually work for a living. He's still posting about mindset on social media, but he's doing it from his car. It turns out the best way to handle a predator isn't to run, it's to become the one who owns the jungle.